It all started with a thought. I imagined an amethyst geode that I could eat. Why, I don't know. But sometimes the mind just wanders and does what it does. I happen to have some baking chocolate, sugar, and food dye on hand. Now I just needed a mold. I rummaged through my kitchen cabinets and stumbled upon a mixing bowl, the perfect candidate to become my geode mold. After bringing the bowl to my workstation, I flipped it upside down and covered it in tinfoil, transforming it into my canvas for sugary artistry. In another mixing bowl, I melted some white chocolate to a silky smooth consistency. After a few tries, of course. Then I carefully poured it over my makeshift mold. With the precision of a surgeon, I spread it evenly, then stuck my creation into the freezer to let it cool. I very carefully measured and poured about 3 cups of sugar into 1.5 cups of hot water. It was a sugary alchemist's dream. You know, like aside from the hand cramps and endlessly stirring to get the sugar to fully dissolve. However, my dream soon would turn into a horrifying nightmare. As I added the red food coloring, I couldn't help but think it looked like something specific. "'Tis the blood of my enemies." Coming back to reality from my mind wandering, I then added the blue dye, creating a
blood of your future enemies.
Very blue-purple. It clearly needed a touch more red, so I added more red. Only when I added the red, I noticed the color shifting to an unexpected hue. It just so happened that the more red that I had added was actually not red at all. Because I put yellow in!
You did what?
I put yellow in! Dang it! Oh my gosh, and we're almost out of red. I'm not gonna be able to redo that. Since my syrup was completely ruined, there was only one thing left to do with it.
That's a lot.
I ventured to the store to grab more food coloring. Once it was purchased, I ensured it had a safe trip home by securing it into the front seat. Now, back at home, it was time to attempt the sugary syrup once more. However, this time the food coloring I had purchased was very much a gel, and it refused to mix gracefully with the sugary water. It took many minutes of stirring, effort, and elbow grease to achieve the vibrant purple hue I desired. With the purple syrup finally ready, I set it in the fridge to let it cool down. I then grabbed my chocolate bowl out of the fridge and set out to create the second layer. I melted some brown chocolate. I then slapped it onto the white chocolate on the mold and spread that stuff around like there was no tomorrow. This layer would act as our outer shell for the geode. After chilling the last chocolate layer in the fridge, it was now time to create the crystals. Using a hairdryer, I gently melted the chocolate, just enough to soften the inside. Once I achieved an ooey-gooey texture, I dropped large sugar granules into the bowl. These are the seeds for my beautiful crystals to grow on. With the sugar seeds now planted, I poured the sugary concoction into my chocolate bowl. It was now time to hurry up and wait, as the only way to get beautiful crystals from this creation was to not touch it and to let the sugar seeds grow into full crystals. I left my creation on the kitchen counter, carefully guarded from the tiny kitchen gremlins, for a painfully slow 2 weeks. It has officially been 2 weeks since we put this to the side, and now we're gonna take a look at it and pour the fluid out and see what kind of crystals we got. Delicious one. No! Where's all my crystals?
Right there.
Those aren't crystals!
Yes, they are.
Those are not crystals! They're supposed to be big and beautiful. They're little itty bitty seedlings.
Told you the longer you let it grow, the bigger they'll get.
And so we poured the solution back into the bowl to sit for another painfully long 2 weeks.
2,000 years later.
The crystals were now a much more decent size. After letting the geode dry for a few hours, it's now time to see what we have. It's now time for the moment of truth. Is it edible? We have success, ladies and gentlemen. It is an edible amethyst geode. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing if you'd like to see more of this content.
Really? I don't know my own strength.
What are you doing?